Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and we are back with another Gundam card game video. Seeing that GD02 Dual Impact has now been fully released, we're going to start going through all of the archetypes and really just breaking them down, looking at their surface level interactions, seeing what we can glean from them, and then talking about what I think their overall viability is moving into the Set 2 meta. So, strap yourselves in. I hope you guys are having a great time, and I just want to say right off the bat, if you like this sort of content, smash that like button, and also maybe just subscribe, because we are about 90 subscribers away from hitting the big 10,000, and it would mean the world to me if you join the UniX fam today. Okay, with that being said, let's hop into the content. Okay, so the way I'm going to break this down is I will go into a pilot, then I will go to their exclusive links, then I will move on to, just the other cards from there, so we can kind of really see how the archetypes branch out. Mainly because I do believe that every deck is based off of a focal link with a supplementary link, or two focal links that you build outwardly from there. So let's start with the main man of the show, Mikazuki August. And we have a just a level 4 1 cost for you guys that don't already know, +2/+1, and then when paired, choose one of your units and one of your enemy units, deal 1 damage to them. Very important, simply because a lot of the Tekkadan cards have additional effects once they are damaged. Pretty simple, but Mikazuki really is the key, like the master cog to the way this deck or archetype works. So moving forward, we're going to go to the first card that he exclusively links with, and this is the very controversial Gundam Barbatos First Form. Level 3 2 cost, 3/2 attack. If this unit is damaged, draw 1. And I've already seen a lot of people come at me in the comments for me rating this a pretty low level link with Mikazuki, and there's a couple of reasons for this. So I guess like my thing is, it's gonna come up in the comments again, and I'm ready to talk with everybody about it. Like, discussion is what we do on this channel, and it's good to have it. My main issue is that 2 HP is already a very, very risky stat line. And then when you pair him with Mikazuki, he does gain 1 HP from the link, but he's also going to ping himself, so he's going to be 2 still. Now, the thing is, everybody's talking about how he's going to give you a card back. This is very correct, but note that you already went -2 cards in hand to then gain half of that back. Not all of it, half of that. He is still a -1. Once you use them. Now granted, he's a body on the board and he can get some advantage in. He can break a base, he can take a shield, so we can get some forward momentum. My main issue is that with 2 HP left, there's a lot in the game that can get over him. Like, let's just talk about this right here. He's a Wart on the board, wrecks this guy. A Ilfrith on the board, wrecks this guy. Both cards that can come out before you can get this guy linked. And yes, even if you were playing this guy, I guess you could technically, well, you won't even swing with him that turn. If you're not linking with him, you're not swinging with him before, like, he can be, like, these things can come out on the board. Like, because let's get this straight. If you play him on turn 2 with the EX resource, the earliest he can swing is turn 3. By turn 3, your opponent could have already played out a Zawart or Nilfrith. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Now, if you're going to link him, that's generally turn 3 with the EX resource, or that's turn 4 without it. So this guy can get swatted by a Zawart, he can get swatted by an Ilfrith, he can get swatted by the new blocker that comes out in the very same starter deck that IBO debuted in. On top of that, once he does get his 1 swing off and he draws his card, he can be crapped on by close combat. He can be crapped on by Battle of the Aces, which literally is enabled because he's already damaged. He can be destroyed by any combination of Gun Tank, Angsha, Gun Tank, Angsha. There's a bunch of red cards that ping that will get this guy. And oh yeah, if your opponent just happened to play out a 2/2 and you didn't somehow get rid of it before swinging with this card, they can just send the 2/2 into this guy to prevent you from getting a draw. So yes, if this guy can survive, he can net incremental advantage, an extra card per turn. But if he survives, your opponent never respected the card in the first place. And I think that in this game, if you're trying to base your success off of good players, you shouldn't expect this card to survive. That's my main issue with it. He is a 2 HP card, whether he is linked or not. And for the people saying, oh, well, you can damage him without linking him. Sure, you can do that, but then it's even easier to get rid of him. Like a singular, like somebody could pair Marito on a vanilla Kshatriya, swing into your life, and ping your Barbatos to death. They can a swing where they just play a singular gun tank, a singular Angsha. There are a lot of things that get into 1 HP. There's a lot of things that get into 2 HP. That's my main issue about this card, and now I'm ending the rant. I think that this is cool. If it had ways of surviving for multiple turns, we are Gucci. But at this point, I just don't know how this card survives the following turn unless your opponent is not playing meta and didn't play anything before you played this card. Because like I said, a singular 2/2, a singular blocker will end this card's existence the moment it turns sideways or the turn after. So I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. I don't ever see this card ever getting its full value back. Now let's go over to Gundam Barbatos second form, and despite everything I said about first form, I actually feel pretty decent about this card. So it's a level 4, 2 cost, a 2/4, and it's once again linking with Mikazuki. And it says when this unit is damaged, it gains +2 AP. The reason why I like this is because when you link him with Mikazuki, he pings himself, and then, you know, he's gonna get the 2 AP, meaning that he is going to be at a 6 AP stat line with 4 HP. 4 HP allows him to swing over things and still survive, albeit he is going to be extremely weak after that. But 6 HP also allows you to slapshot these 6 AP bases. 6 AP is such a good stat line when your opponent's playing a stall deck that involves green or red, where they can play these 6 HP bases. So being able to just play out your Gundam Barbatos and then play Mikazuki under him and then swing for 6 is a huge thing. 6 also takes out quite a few heavy hitters in the format, such as Death Scythe, such as Freedom that, you know, hasn't been linked yet. There's all sorts of things that a 6 will get out of there. Gundam Unicorn, Banshee with Marita under it. So I think that this just instantaneously being a 2-card rusher with 6 is actually very, very, very essential to some stat lines that are currently in our meta. And now, speaking of stat lines that are in our meta, just circling back to the Gundam Barbatos LR, all the cards minus like what, close combat that I just mentioned, they're not stretches to play. They're actually already in our decks at 4 ofs in most cases. 4 Zawarts, 3 to 4 Zawarts, 3 to 4 Ilfris. You're already playing 2 Battle of Aces. It could go up if that card got popular. You're already playing 3 to 4 Gun Tank, 3 to 4 Angsha. You're already playing anywhere between 6 to 8 1-drops that have a 2/2 stat line. These are all cards that are already swarmed in our meta, and you know, you don't even have to tune a deck to be able to have outs to this card. You just have to have it. Not to mention Fatal Strike just got released, and that waxes it immediately as well. So that's just kind of my issue here. Now we're going to go into Gundam Barbatos 4th form, and Gundam Barbatos 4th form is indeed a hoss. Like, this card is a level 6, 4 cost, 4 or 5 stat line, and of course deploy, choose one of your other units, deal 1 damage to it, and it gets +1 AP that turn. I'm not going to hold you. Half the time I'd be forgetting about this deploy effect. Realistically, I think the couple times I played it on camera, he was the only guy on board. I think there was one time I played him and he wasn't the only guy on board, but I keep forgetting about this effect. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's cool. It's cool because he comes down, and like a general, he is going to ping something to give it a stat boost. That's actually really, really cool. And then you're also going to be able to link with this guy and give him suppression once he's damaged. So there are some really cool setup plays you can do with this card. I actually really think it's cool. Suppression is a very powerful effect. Yes, it's not just going to ruin the game, but when a suppression lands at a crucial time, you are accelerating the game clock. And if your opponent doesn't have any burst cards coming from those, sometimes you just blow out the game. There are some times where it's like they could have, you know, 3 life left, and you hit them with suppression, and it's a card and a base, and then the base takes their last life, and now they have to get rid of everything on your board, because if you just slap shot that base and swing one more time, they're a goner. So suppression is actually a really, really crazy crazy thing, and so I think this card is great. It's got great stats, it provides a unique effect to the game, and on top of that, its deploy effect is going to enable another card to do well. Like, if you already have a Barbatos second form on the board and you play out this card, you ping it for 1 and give it 1 AP, it's automatically going to be a 5 AP card with 3 health, but that's going to allow it to get past most bases in the game and allow Barbatos 4th form to come in and clean up house. So very, very nice. Now we are going to go to our next card, and that's the next pilot, Akihiro Altland, and he is a level 3 1 cost +1/+1 during link during your turn. When this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, choose 1 Tekkadan unit card that is level 2 or lower from your trash, add it to your hand. Now this is the card I was talking about in the last video that I think that they kind of botched this effect. I think it should have just been during Link once per turn, because that would have allowed you to block with his S or with his LR and then recycle a card. And then that actually allows you to do some pretty cool stuff. But because it's during your turn, he only has 2 cards that he can link with. Well, 3 cards that he can link with at this very moment. Actually, I think it's 4, right? Yes, so he has 4 cards that he can link with at this very moment. And it's not a cost of 2, it's a level of 2. So at this very moment in this game, there are 2 cards. There are 2 cards that he can actually pick up with his effect, and that is abominable. You pick up 1 Tekkadan unit that has level 2 or lower from your trash, and you add it to your hand. I am fairly certain that it's the CGS mobile worker and it's the Gray's custom. Those are the only level 2s that Tekkadan has. So not only is this effect very limited in when you can use it, it is limited on when you can pick up, because only one of those cards is really good. I don't really have a lot of faith in CGS mobile worker. That's just spoiler alert. So that's kind of how I feel about that one. Again, we can always talk in the comments. Let me know. I love to hear your thoughts. And just in case, I'm just like, yeah, actually, no, we're just going to continue. That is pretty much how I feel about it. Now, going on to his links, we have Gundam Gusion Rebake and Rebake. Again, you guys, somebody let me know how to pronounce this. It's been a while since IBO. But level 4, 3 cost, 3/4 stat line, and we love those stat lines, becoming a 4 or 5 when linked. And then it's destroy, choose 1 enemy with 4 or less AP and rest it. Obviously, the link is Akihiro. I don't really like destroyed effects because in a lot of cases, your opponent can try to play around it and destroy it when it's least advantageous to you. I think in a deck like this, because you're able to do some pinging, there are going to be some moments where potentially, you know, you've gotten through a couple turns abusing this card, pinging him and giving him effects, and then he's only got 1 life left. So you just swing with him. And if your opponent blocks, you can rest another blocker. That's his biggest position. If your opponent blocks this guy and he dies, you can rest another blocker and probably take out the blocker that blocked. And so that's going to be some pretty cool stuff. You swing with this guy, they go, okay, I'm going to block with the freedom or whatever, or, you know, just like strike, L strike or something. And you're just like, okay, yeah, with blood and iron. And now I take your blocker and he's going to rest your other blocker. So I think that could be cool. I think it's going to be very tricky and very meta dependent whether or not this card can be abused, used well. I think that we are kind of looking at a weird card that has its uses, but like it kind of just seems a little funky. So I'm still kind of on the fence about this card. And then we have the SR, and I think the SR is actually pretty good. Just a level 5, 4 cost, 3/5 stat line, blocker, and deploy. Choose 1 of your units and 1 of your enemy units, deal 1 damage to them. This is a really, really cool effect, and I think there's a lot to be gained with this. Attacking with him seems kind of weird to me, but being able to ping 1 of your units to activate its effects based on damage, and then ping 1 of your opponent's units to make it weaker, maybe a blocker to ensure that whatever they block is going to kill it. I think that that's actually pretty cool. I think this will get mileage in the deck. I think this definitely will get mileage, and having a blocker in the deck is crazy. Purple has a little bit of everything, and getting into the late game and then just being able to establish a blocker so that they need high maneuver to get over you seems pretty good. So I'm kind of high on this card. I think it's pretty nice. Now we're going to start talking about cards that just have the generic Tekkadan link. This is Gundam Barbatos 3rd form. It says deploy, deal 2 damage to this unit. That's going to be a, it's a level 4, 2 cost, 3/5. So it's going to become a 3/3 immediately. This is kind of interesting, kind of funky, kind of weird, but there are cards that specifically do things when you have a damaged unit, and so he's immediately going to allow himself to be used. Downside, he becomes an immediate target for close combat, or for Battle of Aces. Like, he actively damages himself and then brings himself to the exact number that Battle of Aces needs to be able to smoke it with 1 hit. So, as you can see, a lot of purple feels like a red victim.exe, and I think that's the biggest issue I have with purple kind of starting off. Next one, you have the Ryusei Go, or the Gray's Custom 2. It is a level 3, 2 cost, 2/2 card. Deploy, choose 1 of your units, deal 1 damage to it. If you do, draw 1, then discard 1. I think this is cool. Looting is fine. We need to see deeper into our deck. I'm not going to lie, though, with a 3/2 cost, body, 2/2 body, I think we didn't have to discard one. It just would have been fine if you just deal 1 damage to something and then you draw 1, because chances are the card you dealt damage to is not long for this world, and you just need the card in hand to replace it. So I think that they were a little too cautious with design on this card, and I really don't think it needed to have the discard one on here. I really don't. And now we're on to another pilot. This is Laughter Franklin. It's another 2/1 pilot, so that means in all of Tekkadan so far, we don't have a singular 1/2 pilot, which is very interesting. A lot of these cards deal themselves damage, and so I would have very much so preferred it if we got a 1/2, because I think that the 2 HP will be great for these things that are pinging themselves. But this is a level 4, 1 cost, +2/+1 attack. If this unit is damaged in level 5 or lower, it gains high maneuver during this battle. This is great because it doesn't have During Link. Anything that it gets put under, as long as it's level 5 or lower, it gains high maneuver during this battle. So they did that to code it so that you can't just put it on Gundam Barbatos 4th form and have a high maneuver suppression unit. But you can put it on everything else in this archetype and really just kind of go high maneuver with it as long as it's damage. I think this actually is a stupid good card. Like, I like it. I think that if you're running a purple strategy with purple as your main color, which I think it might not be as feasible as we want it to be, that this is a really, really cool card and can do some things. Preferably you'd want to link it so you can swing that first turn with high maneuver, but I also understand just putting it on something that's already been out and making sure it's damaged and going in. The next card we're going to have here is the Hyakuri, and this is a level 4 2 cost, 3/3 body, Teiwa's trait as the link, and it says, when paired, purple pilot, if there are 3 or more Teiwas, just Tekkadan cards in your trash, choose 1 enemy with 3 or less AP and rest it. This is busted. There's a lot of cards that fall under this that are really good. A lot of little blockers. Anytime your opponent makes a 2/4 striker pack, anytime they play as the Wart and Ilfrith, they're subject to this. Even there are things that just, like, you know, you might want to swing into to get off the field. You don't want them turning sideways next turn. They're subject to it. I think that the Hyakuri with this when paired purple pilot is very, very nice, and if you pair it with you know, Laughter, you're going to be able to get some more mileage out of it. I like this card. Yeah, it's a little high on the level, but you know, you're playing it for 2. It's 3/3 solid body. It's going to go up to like a 5/4 when you pair it with Laughter. There's a lot of good things about this, and I'm here for it. Next card we have here is Amida's Hyakurin, and this is a level 4 2 cost as well, 3/4 stat line, and pairs the Teiwa's trait. So you've got 2 actually really good units to pair or link actually with Laughter, and like I said, I'm straight up here for it. I think this is really nice. The stat line is great here. A 4/5 is a respectable stat line, and this is a card that may be a vanilla, but I think it actually holds a lot of weight. Now we're going to go over to the command pilots because they have some dual utility, and sometimes, you know, you're able just to really kind of spread out just, you know, the load of the burden of, do I draw a pilot or not? And the first one is, its name is Ryusei Go. It's a level 2 1 cost command that says act or main/action, choose 1 damage friendly unit. It gains AP +2 during this turn, and then it doubles as the pilot Norbashino with a +1/+0 stat line. I'm not that high on this card because at the end of the day, I think that if you're gonna have something like this, you might as well just be running the starter deck base. I really do think that is the case. The starter deck base, I think, just clears this by far, and realistically, yeah, I don't really see that. And then plus, if you're trying to do, like, you know, a command that can boost, I think with Iron and Blood is just better, because not only is it the +3 AP, you're also going to enable your win damaged effect. So I really kind of am here saying that I think that unfortunately, as much as I like Shino in the show, I think that his card is kind of whack. But then, just popping in to say that if you are here still, you'll probably like the video, so make sure you like the video. It means a lot to me. If you're on the mobile app and you see the hype button, you want to throw your hype to me, please do. And then, like I said earlier in the video, we are 90 subscribers away from being at the big 10K. So if you want to join the UniX fam today and help me get there, that would be much appreciated. In the last video, I said I did launch memberships. They're only 99 cents a month, but you will be able to see videos the moment they are uploaded before schedule. This video indeed went up I think like 1 a.m. ish the night before. Sometimes when I have time, I upload multiple videos at one time and then have them scheduled out for schedule reasons, and those will be up on the membership early so you don't have to wait or miss a beat. And then I also have a lot of extra gameplay, like generally 2 to 3, maybe even 4 more videos per locals that I'm just gonna put on there unedited with commentary and whatnot. So if you want to get into that, you can get into that. Last but not least, I am trying to get my Twitch over 1,000 followers. So if you want to go over there, catch me playing games like Digimon Time Stranger, Dragon Ball, Gexen Squadra, and more. I'm going to get back to my Kingdom Hearts playthroughs at some point, and many more things. I take suggestions, maybe even Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm still on the fence about that. I got like 1 more week, but you can find that there. Link to the Twitch will be in the description, as well as the membership if you want to see what that's about. And yeah, let's get back to the content. Okay, we are back, and whoa mama, no, for real, sisterly care. Whoo, yeah, look. Alright, you know what, let me just get past this. You got sisterly care. This is a level 4 2 cost main / action. If a friendly Tewa's Link unit is in play, choose 1 enemy with 2 or less AP, destroy it. I think this is actually really cool. It's a little bit of a snipe, and it really helps out against aggro. The only thing that I don't like at all is that it requires a friendly Tewa's Link unit. If this was just a friendly purple Link unit, you could use it in a lot of, like, I want to make like white-purple control. I think that could be really good, and I was really liking this card until I saw a friendly Tewa's Link unit. But hey, if we go off of maybe purple being Barbatos or being IBO, maybe we can make it work. But yeah, now the cool thing is this Amida Arca is a +1/+1 command pilot. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember there being +1/+1 command pilots up until now. I could have sworn that they were all like +1/+0 or +0/+1. But yeah, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. This just stood out to me. But either way, card art's to die for. Sadly, we don't have an alt art of it, and yeah, like, I need this. Promo down the line. Give it to us. The people demand it. Now, the next card we have here is the CGS Mobile Worker. This is a level 1 1 cost 02. Activate main, rest this unit, choose 1 of your units, deal 1 damage to it, it gets +1 AP for the turn. Now, the cool thing is, it's an enabler, right? The bad thing is, it's a level 1 play. I think that this is kind of funky, because generally what you want to do is play out something that can swing, and then the following turn play out a supporter and go in for it. That's literally like kind of why some of the things with like Zaft work the way they do, or even when we thought supporters would be the move in Xeon. You're just gonna be able to play out the card and then play the supporter next turn, rest it, and it kind of gives like a pseudo haste because you're resting it, you're giving the AP, and it's swinging. This comes up on turn 1, and then you're playing out a card that generally can't swing, so this card has to sit there for a full turn not doing anything. You wasted 2 turns of momentum, kind of. I don't like the curve of this card. I think it just should have been like a level 2 1 cost that had some heft to it. There needed to be something different about this card to make me really fall in love with it, but personally, I'm not really a fan. There is a kind of cool little bit where, I mean, I guess if you have 2, you could always, like, you could play 1 on turn 1, play 1 on turn 2, and activate it on the first one, and then swing in, but that's only 1 damage, and I just, yeah, no. I'm just not vibing this card. I apologize. If you guys are feeling some type of different way, let me know. Let me know your experience. Then we have the Grays Custom. It's always good that a color has a level 2 1 cost that's a 2/2, because that allows it to start having to be able to build an aggro kind of build if it wants to, or an aggressive tempo. I think every color combination needs this, so if you do find an aggressive play or aggressive route in your deck building, you can just take the level 2 1 cost 2/2s from your 2 respective colors and build from there. I think that's important. Then you've got the Hyakuren, the fabled level 3 2 cost 4/3. The Rizal status is very good. It's cool that blue purple can play anywhere from 6 to 8 Rizals. Very good stat line unless you are looking a wing 0 down the barrel, and I think that this is just a pretty good card in general, so I'm here for it. It's got the Tewa's trait, and yeah, very good stats. Now we're on to these command cards, and the first one we have is with Iron and Blood, and this is a level 2 1 cost main action. Choose 1 of your units, deal 1 damage to it, it gets AP +3 during its turn. I think that this is really good. This is really good. It's one of my favorite cards in purple right now. You can swing with a 2/2 and use this card to make it a 5/1, breaking a base. You can, like in one of the videos on my membership video, where I'm just playing against I think red blue, there was a moment where he swung with his Gundam, at my 2-2. It was a Gundam paired with Amuro, and he swung it at my 2-2 Gray's Custom. And I used with Iron and Blood, putting Gray's Custom up to a 5-1, turning what was going to be a chump and then repair back up to full into a full out trade, and that kept him on his toes for the rest of the game about what he was swinging into. Later in that game, I also used another with Iron and Blood on another 1-1, or another 2-2, to get over a Versalius that was played to get it off the board. So I think that with Iron and Blood is probably the best battle trick we've got in this game, maybe even dethroning Unforeseen, because Unforeseen is really cool for keeping your things alive, but I think with Iron and Blood is really cool for taking your opponent's card along with it, or just pushing into a base. So I think with Iron and Blood actually just may be the best battle trick in the game. Don't at me, or maybe do. That's what the comment section's for. Then we have got Fatal Strike, and Fatal Strike is just a level 4 2 cost. Just burst, choose one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. Main, choose one enemy unit that is level 3 or lower, and destroy it. This card is great. This card is, it gets rid of Zort, it gets rid of Ilfrith, it gets rid of Rizel, it gets rid of Hyakurin, it gets rid of all these 2/2s. It smashes so many good cards in the meta, just like you should be smashing that like button and maybe the subscribe button with it. Had to throw it in there. Look, the point is, this card is a control player's dream, because instead of having to go out of the way of playing a body and swinging into it, you can actually just kind of play it out, hit the pay 2, and just dummy stomp something that was going to cause you a lot of pain if it was left unaddressed. So I think Fatal Strike is actually just monstrous. Now, moving on to the next card, we have Momentary Respite, and Momentary Respite is level 4 3 cost, burst, draw 1, main, choose 1 purple pilot card from your trash, add it to your hand. Now we're going to talk about this. This is a level 4 3 cost, and it draws a card from, draws a pilot from your trash. I think that that's actually really cool. However, my main thing about this card is kind of the fact that, like, where it competes with. You're recycling a pilot. I think Mikazuki is worth getting back from the trash. But what other pilots are worth getting back from your trash? Possibly Laughter. I think that's cool. It is a purple pilot card, and so I think Momentary Respite may be a card better used in the Vulture deck, which is going to be focused on milling and getting stuff back from there. And that'll be something we talk about in the future video. However, we do have this here, and I think that in the IBO archetype, it's kind of weak, because Mikazuki and Laughter are both good targets, but this card is a level 4 3 cost, so it's competing with a lot of powerful cards. Like, anytime you can play out the level 4 3 cost, would you rather play Momentary Respite, or would you rather play Show of Resolve? I'm just saying, it competes in a very powerful slot, and most of the time, at this moment, I don't feel like this is your first choice at any given moment. The next card we have here is the Isaribi, and the Isaribi is a base. It's a level 3 1 cost 0/5 burst. Deploy this card. Deploy, add 1 of your shields to your hand, activate main, rest this base, choose 1 of your damaged units. It gains AP +2 during this turn. Now, I like this a lot, more so than the its name is Ryusei Go command card, because this is obviously a base. It sticks around. It's a very Versalius type coded card where you play this, and anytime you can survive an attack, your unit can get more dangerous. Anytime you can ping something for 1, congratulations, it's got 2 more AP. And this is going to push a lot of things forward. Now, at this very moment in time, I'm not quite sure if we have a consistent enough amount of damage with units that can survive long enough to make this viable. At the moment, I feel like most of the cards that get damage outside of the 4th form LR are just going to be too weak after they got damaged. I guess the Gusion Rebake, I think that LR is probably fine too. There's a couple cards that will survive after getting pinged and maybe get more than 1 turn of mileage, but a lot of the cards won't, and I think that's a problem. Speaking of cards that will survive and won't survive, I think the Gusion from the set, or from the starter deck, actually has another cool thing where if you're harassing your opponent with it and constantly recycling the Gray's Customs from your trash, you can have this moment where your opponent has to swing into it, and then they can, you know, just like after that, something has to get rested. But like I said, they can play around that. They can just continuously swing and then make their last swing the swing they intend to end the Gusion with. So it's kind of weird, but the Isarabi I think is really cool. I just think we might need more Tekkadan cards to really see it blossom. And then the last card that we have here is the Hammerhead. And the Hammerhead is a level 4 2 cost that says it's a 0/5 base. Burst, deploy this card. Deploy, add 1 of your shields to your hand. Then if it's your turn, a friendly Tewa's Link unit in play your turn. Then if it is your turn and a friendly Teiwa's Link unit is in play, choose one enemy unit with 2 or less AP, destroy it. This is really cool, and I think that this is a monstrous killer of opposing aggro decks. Like if you're facing green-blue, I think purple already had a great matchup versus green-blue. I faced it a couple times with my purple-blue deck, or my blue-purple deck, and it's really had a great matchup into green-blue. Just 1-year war aggro. But I think cards like this really just make it even stronger. You're going to be able to get rid of all of their 1-drops, forcing them to come out of pocket with their bigger cards or their links, and then once those are gone too, they just kind of gas out. So I think that this is a really cool card, but it's very limited in use. If we had something like sideboards and you know, best of 3, I really do think that this would be a card that comes into play. Maybe the best of 3s that are in the final brackets should have sideboards, but this is a card that could come in and really help on an aggro matchup, but I'd be a little too afraid to play it in every matchup because it works on some blockers like Ilfrit, but it doesn't work on a lot of meteor bodies like Grizel, the Hakuri, a lot of things like that. So kind of so on it. But now we get to talk about the verdict. In terms of where I stand when it comes to the purple cards for the Tekkadan side, because we still have a whole Vulture side to get to that's probably going to have a lot of different takes because the whole direction is different. I think that off of first rip, a lot of the IBO cards feel very interesting. I think they provide a very powerful presence as an aggressive tempo. There's a lot of cards here that have decent stats that go very offensive for the exchange of not living long, which is very thematic. Tekkadan went hard, but a lot of them ended up not making it through the story. So like, that's really it, you know, live till you die. But I think that in this game, you basically have a lot of cards that can push damage, really taking out their opponents with them, or taking out bases, really pushing that forward. You got suppression in the mix, which is going to help you open the way to clearing out game. I think the real big failure of this deck is when you get paired up against red cards. Even some blue cards like Angshin Guntank can put a like really big damper on your party, but blue-red in general, or maybe just a red-based deck, because we got a lot of cards that we're going to talk about in some of the upcoming videos, really rough to go up against. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. I think that we are kind of looking at a lot of red victims essentially in this archetype. You ping yourself, you get 1 attack off, red just destroys you. You ping yourself, you try to attack, you look over, you see they have 2 open resources, they smile, bam, battle of aces, bam, close combat. I think that a lot of these cards open themselves up to where red doesn't have ping effects, red has point and click kill switches, and that's essentially a really big problem, because right now red is kind of in this point where it's not necessarily a dominating force right now between the aggro of green blue, between the still, you know, the in-game inevitability of green white, between some of the stabilization of any of these white blue builds or blue white tempo builds. I think that red blue is still a very strong deck, but it's also kind of just, I'm not gonna say falling off by any means, it's just that there are some times where it can feel like it's not the best deck in the room by far, and I think that that's good because it makes these guys a little safer. However, if purple-based decks crop up this format, purple-based Iron-Blooded Orphans decks, I think that blue-red decks can resurface and just start having their way with them. And then we have yet to see if red is going to make a bigger comeback this set with the addition of the cards they got here. So with that being said, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed another installment, another Gundam card game video. Let me know what you guys think of the Iron-Blooded Orphan side of purple and how you feel about their viability. Let me know in the comments as well with your thoughts, which archetype you would like me to cover next. I'm gonna just really be taking you guys into consideration with what you want to see and what you want me to put out. So thank you guys for being here. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers together. At the same time, check out the Twitch if you want to see me play games live, help me get to 1,000 followers. And then if you want to see additional games, there's videos before they actually get released to the general public, and a bunch of members only content. I think there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure if it would fly or not on the channel in terms of how well it's going to do, that I would just love to do anyway and just put it up on the membership section, because it won't hurt my algorithm and the way my channel trends, but I can just give the content to the people that are already in that wall. So yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Shout outs to the 4 people that joined in the 24 hours that we just started up. It's a small start, but it's a much appreciated start, and we're gonna grow from here. All right, I will see you guys later. Peace.